Hello out there. We are back. Weekly Wrestling Verdict back for the first time in what, 3 weeks, I think. We last saw you right before SummerSlam.
Yep.
We had our predictions. Some of them came true, some of them didn't. One of the matches didn't actually happen that we thought was going to happen. So, yeah, it's been a wild 3 weeks. I, of course, was in Detroit for SummerSlam weekend. It was a pretty wild, fun time. Did go to GCW on Friday night in one of the hottest buildings I've ever been to in my life. Harpo's Theater, cool old venue in Old Town Detroit, but man, they definitely could have used some AC in there. I don't know how they wrestled that night, let alone the multiple death matches with glass flying everywhere that I saw. I don't know how they did it, but shout out to them. Still had a good time with all my buddies, so that was fun. And SummerSlam itself had floor seats, so I didn't see a lot from where we were sitting. It was kind of difficult with everybody standing up. You had people putting signs up, even though we were like 30-something rows back. I don't know why they insist on doing that, but, we had the little kid constantly standing up with a sign, and the guy behind me wanted to smack both him and the father, so it was a lot of fun. We almost had some brawls in the crowd, but it was a hot crowd, man. It's a cool stadium. First time in Detroit. It was pretty awesome. Just be there live with the live crowd. I was on the floor next to entrance. I couldn't actually see the entrance area since it was such a narrow area, but it was pretty loud. Obviously, Cody got a big pop. LA Knight was the star of the weekend, I'd say. All around the city, all weekend long, all you would hear, yeah, everywhere. We were even doing it. Just kept coming up. We got some in the chat. We got some in the chat. Smack Daddy, thank you. Welcome. Yeah, so that was pretty fun. Overall, I haven't actually gotten a chance to watch the whole thing back, but what were your thoughts watching on the Peacock at home?
SummerSlam delivered. SummerSlam was a great event.
What was your top highlights or lowlights, or what do you want? Anything else? I know a lot of people had a lot of thoughts on the main event of Tribal Combat. It was a bit long. I don't know how it came across at home. I know a lot of people were a little bored by it. Live, it was kind of fun because the crowd was they were getting into it, especially the last part of it. Obviously, we heard Roman was injured. That probably didn't help matters. It's the Roman formula sometimes is a little slow. Not everybody likes it. A lot of people seem to be upset with the ending, as though they thought he was going to lose the title here when he obviously wasn't, as we all know. But the Jimmy thing, I think we discussed that as a possibility. It did happen. Obviously, when I couldn't really see where I was, but when I saw the hooded figure, I'm like, oh, that's got to be Jimmy, obviously. So we'll go there. Like, what did you think of that? How they came up with that whole finish and the way they did that?
I thought it was a nice twist. A lot of people disagree with me, but.
Hi, Tina. Thanks for coming in. A lot of people probably interested, but what do you think of the match itself? Yeah, it was a bit long. They could have cut off. It was a little late. We were going past midnight, which was kind of tough, even on a Saturday night. They've been pretty good at not doing that lately, but this being SummerSlam, I can see. I don't think anything got cut for time in the show. I know people were mad. They wanted more matches added. I don't think it would have had any place for them, to be honest.
No.
But and obviously we'll talk in a second about the follow-up to the Jimmy angle here, but
that's why they had the Battle Royal, to make sure everyone got a pass.
Let's talk about that Battle Royal. It actually turned out to be a pretty decent little fun little Battle Royal. Obviously, nobody was happy about it, but it got a lot of people on the card. A lot of people got shine in that match.
It had stories within stories.
I like how they wove in all those angles. It was one of the better Battle Royals we've seen them doing a while. Even better than some of these Rumbles, where a lot of these feuds were in there. People meeting for the first time. We had everybody getting little hope spots. Chad Gable had a little shine in that. Obviously, he's had a good couple of weeks. Omos looked good. Obviously, played the Giant coming in there. He got a big reaction, oddly enough, from the crowd. LA Knight, of course, was the star, so he was throughout the whole match. Ciampa had a little bit of a shine.
Omos got a good reaction from the crowd?
Yeah, kind of. In my area, they kind of like, oh, okay, he's coming out like, the big guy's coming into this match. I think a lot of people thought, oh, no, he's going to win this one. But I think we all knew once this was announced that who was going to win this. But my only gripe there is they didn't give him like mic time. I'm like, come on, let's have him cut a promo afterwards. But it was kind of fun. He got his little moment. The one we were looking forward to, Logan Paul Ricochet opening the show as we predicted. And Logan Paul did make it to his brother's fight. So,
did he walk out with him?
Yeah, he walked out with him, still in his gear. Didn't change, went right out of there. Walked down to the ring, still in his gear.
What a night.
All I can tell you is live. He got mega heat coming out, opening match tonight. Crowd hated Logan Paul. Obviously, great heel. Ricochet got a big reaction because of that. Yeah, what'd you think of that? Like, I haven't watched it back on TV yet, but from what I saw of it, it was pretty fun. Maybe not as good as I thought it was going to be, but I don't know. How'd it come across on
I thought it delivered. It had the spots that we wanted. It was an overall decent match.
Yeah,
great opener.
It's the biggest spot Ricochet's had since he's been up. So
yeah,
oddly enough, even though his opening match, literally, this was probably his best showing, and he even in the defeat, obviously, a little shenanigans. He looked good coming out of it. We had a mystery. I thought we just had who's the mystery man that helped him, Logan, but apparently it was just one of his cronies. So I thought it was going to actually be somebody. We couldn't, like I said, I couldn't really see. Thankfully, they have the big screens above the ring where you could, see some stuff. Side note: don't get floor seats unless you're really close, guys. I know WrestleMania tickets have gone on sale the last 2 days pre-sale. They're selling. They sold quite a bit the last 2 days with some big prices. I don't know. People are surprised. This has been going on for a long time. The prices are getting higher and higher. This is WrestleMania 40. But anyway, if you're trying to get tickets there, I would recommend probably getting stuff a little bit upstairs, unless you're going to get the seats that Brock Lesnar guy in green smiley face shirt guy gets somehow, despite the fact that they're apparently $10,000 for some sections or $5,000. I think it was a combo, maybe $5,000 for whatever. Yeah, I was even look just take a preliminary look. It's like, whoa, look at these prices. Obviously, a lot of them will be going to the secondary market, and there'll be some that'll be coming down to price close to the show, hopefully. But that's a good sign that they're selling pretty quick in the pre-sale. But yeah, I would recommend, like I said, don't sit on the floor, especially when you have all these people holding signs for no apparent reason, standing on their chairs, even though the security was walking up and down. Don't do that. It was like it was like they weren't exactly like helpful security. I'll be this. And forget about getting in and out of there. Being on the floor was like almost impossible to get out at the end of the show, as everyone had to climb back into like the actual regular sections. And because there were so many people, man, it took me a good half hour to get out of the building that night.
I bet.
So yeah, I was probably, by the time I got out of the stadium, it was probably close to 1 a.m. But and then I had the lovely test. We were trying to walk to a proper location to try to catch an Uber back to our B&B, which wasn't too far away from downtown, but trying to get a cab on that crazy night with all the cars and all the traffic. And it was Saturday night in Detroit, and there was people everywhere partying at all the bars and stuff, not including the wrestling fans who were everywhere, of course. It was kind of like a mini WrestleMania weekend, I'll tell you that.
I bet.
Fans everywhere, everybody's dressed, costumes, belts, shirts. Like I said, yelling catchphrases everywhere you turn. They had the Summerslam store with some cool stuff there, some old ring used gear. Saw Kane, one of Kane's outfits, Bam Bam's like outfit from WrestleMania 11 when he main evented. Alundra Blaze outfit. Somewhere they had the DX Jeep. I didn't see that, unfortunately, but yeah, that was pretty cool. That place was packed. They sold a ton of stuff.
Nice.
I imagine Detroit, the local area, made a ton of money this weekend. On that weekend, it was a lot of fun. Yeah. But yeah, it was fun, except for the flights home, which both got delayed. So that was fun, as you might imagine. Yeah, so that match was a cool opener. We won't spend too much time on the show. Like I said, obviously Cody and Brock obviously delivered. I would say was the best of the three. I'm sure you might agree.
Oh, yeah, I agree.
Yeah, like Cody playing like the underdog again, but it reminded me of like just like playing. I think I told you like it's like playing a wrestling game on hard, or if you're in season mode. That's pretty much. He's pretty much like, Undertaker in WrestleMania 2000 when you had to face him at the last match of the road to WrestleMania mode. That's pretty much what Brock was here against Cody. Like Cody had to hit him with everything 10 times, charge his finishers. I had some people laughing because I kept yelling, Cody, you gotta taunt, you gotta get that spirit meter up. But he fought back. A clean win. We didn't get the gimmick match we thought we were gonna get, but it turned out to be a fun match. Brock kept trying to get the count-out win. He was determined to get that count-out win for some reason. Cody fought back, narrowly defeats Brock, and then we had a nice little moment afterwards. You think supposedly unplanned? I don't know. You can take, I don't know if Triple H is telling stories here, but yeah, Brock obviously probably bowing out for a bit again, but he shook hands with Cody, put him over. Didn't attack him afterwards. So
yep.
What'd you think of that? That was pretty nice, right?
It was a nice moment to have after the match.
Yeah, I know a lot of people complaining we didn't get a lot of story why Brock did this, but it kind of him doing that was kind of like he earned my respect. Like they never gave us a reason, but the only thing we can get out of it was Brock wanted to see Cody earn it, and he earned his respect. So
yeah,
we got Smack Daddy. Oh, for sure. We'd love to see that match. we saw Gunther and Drew have a nice little match. Wasn't the level of the WrestleMania triple threat or the Sheamus match, but it was pretty fun. I think Drew might be turning him heel pretty soon. There's a lot of hints being dropped. They got to do something with him. I don't think he's going to be sitting in the mid card all this time, but it's good to have him back. Just Gunther, just his presence alone. Like if you see him every week on TV, he's cutting these long promos now. He's like completely comfortable. They obviously have a lot of confidence in him. He's obviously going to break that title record pretty soon. He just passed second place, Pedro Morales. So I know there's some people upset about that for some reason, but it seems like they want to remake some of these records. It makes sense. When you got like a 40-year-old record, I mean, do you really want your IC title record to be the Honky Tonk Man and a joking reign? At least you can say, as far as long reigns go, unlike the recently ended Austin Theory's reign, this reign was a worthy reign with many challenges, overcome. So he continues to be a highlight, and it's a matter of time before Gunther moves on to that next level. It just depends on when they want to do that. Obviously, on Raw.
He's going to be in the world title picture as soon as he drops.
Whenever it makes sense. I'd like to see him take that title at some point. Obviously, wouldn't be the worst choice to take the belt off Seth. Obviously, we had Seth retain again. We're still teasing some Judgment Day tension, but we're keeping it on the back burner for now. As I predicted, we did have Io Sky cash in after. I think I did. I don't think I predicted that Bianca would win the title, but some people seemed upset. Why did they do that? Like, it makes sense for the story because you wanted, Asuka's been kind of heelish now, so you wanted the babyface to be the one that gets the cash in on, the screwed over moment.
It was a nice twist for the night too.
Yeah, like Bianca didn't look bad. Like, she looked good. She fought back, hurt. She sold that pretty well. Barely held on for a win. Then she gets cashed in on. Although the crowd treated Io as a total babyface there, they went nuts. It was a cool moment. Be interested to see where they go from here, but we'll see about that. I'd like to see that Asuka Io showdown at some time. And I guess the Bayley Io kind of tensions on the back burner for now. Obviously, we still have Shotzi coming after Bayley. We'll see what happens with that. But yeah, overall, it was a pretty fun show. I saw some people were down, and I'm like, come on, really? Some of the SummerSlams we saw, we're going to talk about this one? I don't know. I don't think they've missed on pay-per-view or PLE, whatever we call it, all year long. I don't know about you, but I'm pretty sure every single one
all the year
hit. Maybe not all as good as the same, not all at that same level, but they're all been at the very least very good. So
they've all delivered.
We've been spoiled last year. So I don't know what everybody else thinks, but I think we've been spoiled. I don't know. I had somebody going through security in TSA coming back, or she saw my SummerSlam shirt and said, she said her husband said that was the worst SummerSlam ever. I said, really? Has he only been watching like 1 year, or was he watching mid 90s ones? I don't know. Anyway, but was it the best one ever? No. But it's okay. It doesn't have to be. It delivered. I thought it was better than the year before, so that's all I like to year to see some improvement. Not my favorite SummerSlam of all time. That will always probably be SummerSlam 91, the first one I ever watched live. So a feel-good show. Anyway, so yeah, that was SummerSlam. And we're already on the road to Payback. I know you watched the main event of Raw. We had we've got the obviously the involvement of JD McDonough now. They've been teasing him for a while. They dropped off the back burner. Now he's right back in the middle of it. He got a match on Raw with Sammy, so got himself involved in the end. Obviously, Cody gets to win, but Judgment Day stands tall in the show as they're pretty dominant and they're drawing the numbers. So we've got pretty much they've just developed a second bloodline, if you will. In that on the other show, you've got this group dominating, just like they're bringing the numbers to NXT as well. So it's really cool to see.
Successors to Bloodline.
And they got a lot of legs on this. They're teasing stuff, but they can go back to it. We can still see split offs. It's cool to see some new blood injected into it. I like to see where it goes from here. We've got obviously the next feud for Seth in the title is Shinsuke. Obviously last week he turns on him after the match. This week they have a little showdown in the ring, and then he nails him again with Kinshasa. So we've got obviously that coming up. I'm assuming it'll be a Payback. Seth and Shinsuke.
Yeah,
should be, of course, a good match. Shinsuke going heel here a little bit, but actually, I think I've enjoyed it so far. Than his first heel turn, that didn't really go anywhere, but so far so good.
Bring back the heel music.
I know you're waiting for that. I'm like, but I think you'll probably one man that will say that everybody would complain, but not Charlie. He loved that song, and it was a really cool alternate theme with the intro, with the video of the band. That was pretty cool. We'll see about that. But yeah, I'm kind of glad to see something like that. It's a different challenger for once, and obviously we still got Priest with the briefcase. There's a lot of that going on. There's still tension there, but yet they're together. But the Priest is always in the back of your mind. When will he cash in? Obviously, you already see Neo cash in, so maybe he'll hold it for a while. Dom is going to be busy coming up. I'm assuming he's probably going to be defending that North American title coming up at.
Dom just recently found out Canada is part of the North.
Big week for Dom. Great line. Got a lot of heat for that.
That was so good.
I did see. I think I sent it to you. I saw a little tidbit that Logan Paul said that he really would love to form a team with Dom. Yeah. Imagine the heat, and I'm like, yeah. Can you imagine the heat those two would get? But right now, obviously, we're not changing anything with him and Rhea as this power couple continue to dominate and get all the heat. Yeah. And anyway, so as you see in the bottom there, Deuces, Uces. We had Jey Uso come out this week. We had Jimmy come out to explain himself. Yeah, I know we said beforehand we could probably talk about this all show. So you know what? I'm gonna leave the floor to you, Charlie. Let's talk about this Hail to the Tribal Chief segment.
I'm one of the only people that want to see the Usos face off. It's getting bad heat so far, but I'm all about it. I think that Jey should spend some time away, let Jimmy rise up to a near Jey level, and then come back to facing each other.
Yeah, and I kind of like the way they did it too. You know, like Jimmy is not rejoining Roman. He's just his reasonings is some logic in it, but he could also be lying, which I appreciated that Jey didn't just like go and hug him. Like he's like, no, I'm not trusting you now. He acted like a person would act. This is how you and I'd act. Yeah. You're gonna trust somebody after that? He's not the dumb baby face here. He's like, I've seen this trick before. I'm not, even if it's not a trick, I'm not gonna give you the opportunity. I'm gonna strike first. And he did. Apparently convincingly so, because we had a lot of people assuming that means he's left the company because they removed him from the roster page.
Which was even mentioned on Raw.
Yeah. Which how you know that it's a storyline, but of course it is. Yeah. But you said a way to keep them separated. But in 2023, people are still asking, is that real? I'm like, guys, really? Because they saw a goof, the joke. Well, was it Joshua Fatu is all elite, but obviously that's not real. But some people apparently took it to be real. I don't know what's going on, guys. I thought we knew this stuff better, but yeah. So obviously he's gonna be off now. Like I don't know what they're gonna do with him. I thought it'd be cool if he showed up at some random indie shows. I don't think they're gonna do that, but
that would be awesome.
It should be interesting to see what they do with Jimmy. Like you said, if he's obviously divorced himself from the Bloodline situation, we're just going to see Jimmy go on a solo run where he's kind of like a tweener, not like feuding with anybody. I'd like to see what they do next. I don't think either of them are going to be on actually, probably none of them will probably be on this week's SmackDown since it's built around Edge in Toronto. Rumors swirling, obviously, because the last time they were in Toronto last year, just thinking that he might be finishing up. I think maybe he was hoping that maybe SummerSlam or one of these shows was going to be in Toronto, and it wasn't. I don't know. But I did like the little segment they did building up this match. They put they took something nobody would ever think, oh, Sheamus versus Edge, but then in one little 10-minute segment, they made you want to see this match.
Yeah.
And it's pretty cool to see a first time ever match, which you don't see.
Do you think he retires after the match?
I don't know. He could. I know I've heard a lot of people say they've been disappointed in this second run. Edge. I think after he came back and got injured, he kind of decided he wasn't gonna do this full time or even part time. He just comes and goes as he pleases, which has been fine. Maybe he hasn't had that. Maybe they're looking for this 5-star match at him, but maybe in his age you don't really have that in him anymore. But he's done a lot of good ones though since he's been back. Maybe people want to see other stuff, but it's been fun to see him. The Seth feud, even the stuff with Orton was really good. The WrestleMania match notwithstanding, but yeah, I mean, if this is it, what better place to go? Maybe he wants to not make a big deal out of it. I don't know. I mean, what else is there for him to do? We wanted to see him, maybe have another Roman match, but he doesn't have to do that. I don't know who else he would feud with. And you can find people to feud with him, obviously, but Cena not being around, so who would be the perfect last opponent for him? I don't know. Not Sheamus storyline wise, but maybe match wise, it can be. Maybe this is what he wants, or maybe he's trying to get out of his contract. He's going to go tag with his brother again. I don't know. It's fake. I don't think that's true, but I've heard people say that.
No. At least I hope not.
I would hope not too. That really wouldn't do anything for him. What do we got here in the chat? When do we think Jamie will cash in, and on who? Well, that's a good question. I think it will stay on Raw with it. I don't see him attempting to cash in on Roman. When? It's a good question. I mean, he could, now that he's feuding with Nakamura, this might be a good time for him to sneak in and take it during the match, or maybe they're going to wait to something bigger. Still not sure if we're doing War Games this year. If we do, that could be a good place to cash in after. We saw that the initial one after the Elimination Chamber with Edge and Cena. So probably something like that, I would say. What else are we saying? Ricochet should have won. I disagree. I know Charlie does too. I think we both predicted Logan to win. He's only had like one victory since he's been there, or two. He had one singles win and one tag win. I think. Yeah, you could have gave it to Ricochet, but I don't think it would have helped him that much. And you want to keep Logan heated up for whenever they can bring him in next. I don't know when that's going to be, but we do have a Saudi show coming up in November, so that's always a possibility. Or they might save him up for Survivor Series or something. Actually, if they do a War Games, Logan being on somebody's team wouldn't be the worst thing in the world. What else we got? Seems some good comments here. Solo would be great versus Edge. Yeah, it'd be good to see that. Something different for sure. Not sure if they're going to do that, but I'm sure Edge would make Solo look great in the ring. Not that he's not a good wrestler, but I'm saying he would definitely put him over pretty strong. And so that's pretty much what's going on. We obviously have SmackDown to come in Toronto, so that should be fun. NXT still, we do have a PLE in the horizon, although next week we have the special Heatwave special episode, which is kind of like a mini pay-per-view on TV. So we have
when's their next PLE?
Next PLE is No Mercy and
right.
In September. So until then we've got this little mini show or TV special Heatwave. So you've got Carmelo against Wesley for the NXT title. You've got Dom and Rhea teaming up to an mixed tag against Dragon Lee and Lyra. We've got Von Wagner and Baron Corbin, feud of the year. You're going to get tabled. I'm loving this Von stuff. It's ridiculous, but something about his weirdness just works. And now as a babyface, I don't know. Something about it is just working for me. I don't know about you, but even Corbin's a little, revitalized since he's been here in NXT. I'm loving the main roster integration right now. It's not overpowering the show. It's getting over everybody. So that's good.
Yeah.
That's a good thing. Maybe not Dana Brooke, but there's not much. Not much we can do with Catwoman Dana Brooke. Anyway, so next week's special is looking pretty fun. And obviously, then we'll probably start getting an idea of what we're going to be seeing at No Mercy. Shout out Vic Joseph last night for making a No Mercy N64 reference when he was talking about the show.
Nice.
He did the little diggity dog thing. That was funny. So that'll be next week. That'll be fun. We've got Dynamite tonight. So we'll get to the second part if you looked at our title here. So we had another collision last Saturday night. We had CMFTR against House of Black for Trios title in a match that went forever. Seemingly, it's like a 30-minute match. Pretty good, all the stuff. And then afterwards, Punk gets on the mic and decides he sees a Hangman Page sign and he starts deciding to go off on him for reasons that, CM Punk does. Taking shots at him, calling him, what do you call him, a peg warmer, that his figure stays on the, keeps the peg at the store warm. Which is funny, was even more hilarious to me because every time I go to this particular Target, there's like this Hangman Page figure that's been there forever that never leaves. So that made me laugh even more. I'll show you later.
It's funny because it's true.
Funny because it's true. Of course, then people they can rightfully point out, well, it's not like Punk is popping rings on Saturday night. I'm like, I don't think anybody could. Maybe Dom could, because Dom has been the demo god for sure. Sorry, Mr. Jericho, but we got Dominic Mysterio now. Popping big numbers wherever he goes. Yeah, so you had that. which then turned into, well, there was word that supposedly Punk was involved with getting somebody got sent home. That's non-contracted talent got sent home. Then we find out it's Dolph Ziggler's brother, Ryan Nemeth, and that they had words actually back after Punk returned on Dynamite in Chicago that next week. They had words because I think Ryan had tweeted something about the softest man alive, which Punk naturally thought was about him, and it probably was. And he apparently they shook hands, but there was still a lot of weirdness going on. And then this week, he supposedly was being flown in to probably do the Ring of Honor tapings after Collision, and then they just decided to send him home. So people assume that, and it turns out apparently that was the case. I don't know, because apparently Mr. Punk, Mr. Brooks, is more of a boss than Tony Khan has been in the 4 years of AEW, because he's trying to keep the peace in the locker room in his mind, I guess. Of course, everybody's got their side here. I'm trying to stay neutral. We've discussed our opinions in the past, but let's just say that again, one of the wrestlers is being more of a boss than your actual boss. That's a problem. I understand he wants to keep everything different in the show, just like we're hearing something about him and Jack Perry. He wanted to use real glass, and Punk said, not on this show. Again, somebody being the father in the room, and it's not the boss. I know everybody is jumping on, well, man, this Punk is egomaniac. I'm just sitting here thinking, why is the boss not being the boss? Again, this goes back to him not trying to be everybody's best friend, playing with his action figures, and his boy CM. It's not even that. I'm saying it's not that he's not a jerk for being maybe he's bullying, but again, why is he doing that? Because he's getting this authority because Tony Khan's a pushover, apparently. I mean, we heard there was this word that supposedly when he returned, he's back there like chanting CM Punk. I totally believe that. I totally believe Tony Khan is marking out backstage. I have no doubt in my mind that would be true. I don't know about you, but I'm sure you agree.
He probably sings Jericho's theme song too.
He definitely does, 100%. While probably wearing his 20-year-old Jericho T-shirt and marking out and doing. I have no problem with that, but when you're the boss of the company, it's a little. I don't know. Like we're talking about this. Meanwhile, they're on the less than a week away from what they're calling the biggest show in wrestling history that has like a couple of matches that nobody's really excited about, and the MJF Cole match, and they're going to have a ROH tag team title match on the pre-show, which a lot of people are confused by. To me, it was just like maybe Cole's trying to soften him up. Maybe there's a heel turn coming. I don't know. But the bottom line is they've sold. Now, apparently we're moving. I don't know, sold, but apparently there's over 80,000 tickets distributed, which is, again, a huge accomplishment. And you'd think they would put a little more effort into this. But they haven't. Especially when we're expecting those people to buy pay-per-views 2 weeks in a row at $50 a pop.
Yeah.
Come on, man. Come on. What are we doing here? Why can't you just make this the pay-per-view? Chicago can live a year without All Out. They've been getting it every year. I mean, I give them props for actually bringing it to Chicago itself this time. Because, again, the Now Arena, terrible place. Would never want to go back to Hoffman Estates. Sorry, if anybody's from there, I just don't want to go back there. Old, like an antiquated arena, no phone service. Oddly enough, I could say the same thing about Ford Field, which I was really surprised by. No Wi-Fi and phone service non-existent. Really? Yeah, which I was really shocked by. Wow. I mean, maybe they just don't like AT&T. I don't know, but there's no Wi-Fi really in an NFL stadium. I don't know, but yeah. So we've got 2 pay-per-views coming up. We've got one that's partially booked, and we've got one match announced for All Out, which is Darby Allin Luchasaurus. And for some reason, we now have to have Darby teaming with Sting in a 6-man tag. Swerve's getting. We've got Swerve. He's been getting hot. So where is he on the card? He's got to fight in a 6-man shenanigans with Sting and Darby, his son Darby, with his dad Sting. I don't know. What do you think about all this?
I haven't watched.
You haven't been watching? Okay, that helps a lot.
I haven't been watching Dynamite. I might check it
I
out.
can't say I blame you, buddy. I can't say I blame you.
I might check it out tonight just to see what the hell that Jeff Jarrett, Jeff Hardy match is about.
Oh yeah, what a night! The branded Texas Chainsaw Death match. On night 1 of what they've now called Fight for the Fallen, as they're raising money for the obviously the victims of the fires in Maui. But what a week for that! There's nothing they can really do because it's already a branded thing that they got to do. But I'm like, maybe you could have just. I don't know. Maybe wait till next week to start this thing. It's cool that they're raising money. It's very nice of them. I appreciate that. But it's just funny that week you're going to do the Texas Chainsaw Death Match. Now, if Jeff Hardy doesn't come out with an actual chainsaw, what are we doing here? False advertising. Oddly enough, that's what I'm looking forward to the most tonight. And obviously, whatever shenanigans MJF and Cole are getting into. I mean, I can't say I really enjoyed the one last week when they were beating up kids at a dodgeball. I don't know. It was a little too much in a comedy. I know they had like a segment last week where they went to like an indoor, like, what do you call it? Like a jumping place, or they had dodgeball. It was like a little place where kids would play at.
Yeah.
And that's where Adam Cole wanted to go, apparently.
Oh wow.
And then they were one of the kids threw the ball at him hard, so then they both took turns like destroying the children. It was really weird. Only thing I'd say is some of these segments haven't all hit, but I am enjoying MJF acting like an over-the-top babyface. Is hilarious to me. And of course, Roddy Strong with the neck brace. Adam. Unintentional comedy at its best. I know people get on Roddy for not being the best in the mic. When it comes to awkward dorkiness, he's one of the best. So I've been enjoying that. Oddly enough, this is probably the best story they've been telling over the last couple of months. This weird relationship that's going on. Who's going to turn on who? So it's probably been one of the few things I've been looking forward to every week. Can't say I've been looking forward to a lot of anything else. Obviously, Collision is still continuing to be a little bit different than Dynamite. More longer matches, more of a less shenanigans, and Dynamite's still been the crazy 2-hour car crash. But I don't know. It's been a rough year for them. I know people might have different opinions, but I know to us it's been a kind of a rough year. Obviously, you haven't even watched much lately. You're not having the reason to watch. It's probably not a good thing.
I'll check it out tonight. Just see what that one match is all about.
But the idea that people aren't even interested when they're having their biggest show ever, probably not a good sign. But we're not trying to be all doom and gloom here. Hopefully I'm sure the shows will be well received, regardless of whatever he books in the bathroom while on his 2 a.m. binge. But it'll be there. Maybe he needs to hire a booker, but I think we said that a year ago. I can hear JML in my head right now. If he's watching, how you doing out there, JML? I don't think he is, but if he sees at some point, what's up, man? Tina, thanks again for coming in. Yeah, so we got a lot of stuff coming up. We've got 2 AEW pay-per-views. We've got Payback. We've got No Mercy. We've got Heatwave next week. We've got, I think there's even an Impact pay-per-view next week. We got the big Impact pay-per-view here in Westchester next month, and the 1,000th episode of Impact. We've got Grand Slam coming back to New York again, although I'm not hearing a lot of hype this time. We're going to be busy as fans here, so there's a lot to watch. So we can't say we're wanting for content because we've got plenty. And we'll have plenty to discuss on the show, and hopefully you guys join us again. Before we get out of here, Charlie, anything else you want to touch on?
Oh, no, I'm good.
Good, man. Hope everybody's having a good week. Summer's almost over already, so wild to think. Duncan's already put out their pumpkin spice everything, so that's how I know it. Saw all that stuff this morning. I was like, wow, it's definitely summer's over, man. Unless you live in Australia, then spring is almost here. Anyways, thanks, guys, for joining us in the chat. We appreciate you chiming in. Thank you, Tina. Thank you, Smack Daddy. Thank you, Charlie, as always.
Thank you.
JML, we miss you. Hope everybody has a good weekend. And we got a couple weeks left of summer. We got Labor Day coming up, so there'll be some busy times. And we'll see you again, hopefully, next week or whenever we get together again. So thanks again for all the support. Like, share, subscribe, comment, and we'll see you next time. Deuces, Uces.
Peace.
Peace.